Today on Teyvats Taverns. From the bustling streets of Mondstadt to the hidden corners of Fontaine, Inspector B will be checking out the hottest establishments this side of Teyvat. Shady customers. Ma'am, I think you've got a creepy customer just loitering around unsanitary floors. Why is there paper lying all over? And even more questionable stuff. Drinking on the job? This is Teyvats Taverns. And first we arrive at Angel's Share, tucked away in a corner of Mondstadt City, owned by esteemed nobleman Diluc. His business's reputation has taken a hit in recent years thanks to increased competition and boars?
Where did I go wrong?
Can this tavern live up to standards and wow our inspector? Mondstadt is a land where the winds blow free, a nation of wine and song, so its inhabitants love kicking it back at the tavern and drinking the night away. What more could a tavern owner ask for? Well, okay, let's start with the interior first. So, this establishment seems to exclusively serve drinks. However, I see evidence of food with these plates lying all around, so I'm not sure if perhaps they only serve food at certain times of the day, or if this member of staff just refuses to serve me. But these plates are a problem to say the least. Plates shouldn't just be scattered around the room, they should be organised behind the counter or back of house in a clean and sanitised area, especially considering some of these are probably used and haven't even been cleaned up. Look at them all. Plates here, here, here. The waiter is not waiting. And it's not just plates either. We've got empty tables with mugs just sitting all over too. Wait, what is this? Is this a candle? Okay, this definitely does not seem safe. Where is the dish to stand it on so it doesn't, you know, set the entire building on fire? The floor is also a mess. Why is there paper lying all over? At least the bar seems well maintained and organised. Everything is in its right place. The drinks are laid out very aesthetically. Oh, I see we can organise some of the plates. This looks to be a wash basin perhaps, so that means they are doing the cleaning over here, or should be at least. The tables overall are fine and placed well enough that there's easy access throughout the building, but these stairs seem like a bit of a liability. There is also the concern here over staffing issues. I mean, what time is it right now? We're into the night when the tavern is most active, and we have only one member of staff. One man cannot look after this entire place by himself. This is a huge workers' right violation right here. I mean, it's no wonder nothing is getting cleaned up. We've got one man doing what is essentially multiple jobs in one. Sir, what do you have to say about this? Well, it's good to know that Diluc covers for you every now and then, but that doesn't get rid of the fact that this is violating your rights. At least he doesn't serve alcohol to anyone underage. That's good to see. But this wolf hook drink, I've always wondered how they make this. Considering wolf hooks are only found in Wolvendom, which is quite a dangerous place for most people, how exactly are they able to mass produce these drinks? I think it's also important to bring up the event from quite a while back now, which really does not give Angel's Share a good look. In Of Drinker Dreaming, the tavern hosts a bartender academy, which would be a good way of advertising your place if not for the fact that in this event, Charles literally allows the traveller who has no prior experience to mix and make drinks and serve them to customers. He even mentions how they had another student end up leaving a customer passed out on the floor. That is really bad malpractice right there. I can see they're going for a rustic, homely vibe for this tavern. The ambience and the overall aesthetic is a big win, and it does seem a popular choice with the locals, but it's these other factors that really let the place down. 5 wolf hooks out of 10. The cat's tail. You know, I never understood this one. Is it a bar, a cafe, or a card shop? It's quite a different vibe to Angel's Share. While they do have cats, it feels a bit less homely. I think this has more to do with the lack of decoration that kind of brings down the ambience for this place though. Even just a few more paintings on the walls would really make the place pop more, but they do stick to the cat theming throughout. The door is a nice personal touch too. Aw, look at that. Even the windows have cute little cat designs on them. But this I'm not so sure about. If this is where all the prep happens, it should be kept entirely separate from the cats, and preferably not have one sitting on the counter. Or a bed right in the middle of the station? At least the station itself does look a bit more organised than our previous one, and at least we know staffing isn't an issue since Margaret and Diona also work here. And of course the main attraction is the cats, so they really bring up the score. Wait, what? Chef Mao? What are you doing here? Shouldn't you be at the restaurant? You know I'm coming for an inspection too, right? I especially like these cups. They make it a lot easier for staff members to bring out items. The cups also indicate that they don't just serve alcohol, but other drinks such as coffee and tea. Oh, this one is even better. I love that it goes along with the theming. You've got a little fruit salad sort of meal laid out on a fish-shaped plate. Nice touch. So maybe it's just small bites that they serve here, but even then, you need a dedicated area to be prepping this, away from the cats. This tavern even has private rooms that you can presumably hire out. And not only do they have TCG for entertainment, but also books if that's more your style, and toys to play with the cats. But again, this is what I mean. You can see the walls are really bare bones. They need more to them. Otherwise it just makes the rooms feel very empty. Guys, come on. You really need to make use of all this empty space. What's the point? Why even have an upstairs if it's not going to be used for anything at all? Overall, the Cat's Tail's biggest issues are the lack of a separate prep area, and its ambiance could definitely be improved upon. 6 princes out of 10. While this isn't a tavern, it's going for a more outside dining establishment sort of thing. So wanmin restaurant is next on our review list. Is this sanitary? I assume he's prepping it here, so as long as it's not left out too long. It's good to see all the food is stored well and the oven is used away from customers. Oh, hello sir, good to see you again. I take it you're the owner of this establishment?
Yes.
A chef that loves his work and does it purely for the cooking. While it may not be the largest or most fancy, it's a fairly simple establishment really, but these are always the kinds of places that are amazing just for their food alone, that it more than makes up for everything else. As you can see, free samples, and it is indeed a delicious level food. And this is also the restaurant of world-renowned chef Zhang Ling. Well, it looks like you've got some seating over here and then shared seating with the stool next to you. You could really make more use of this back area though, but overall, simple and effective. Wanmin restaurant gets an 8 guobas out of 10. That is certainly a great first impression from the outside. Good to see we've got handrails all along here to prevent any falls. What a great place to have your establishment, just look at that view. And taking full advantage of it too by having some seats outside. This place knows where their priorities lie. A breathtaking view one side, a stone garden on the other, which also probably requires a lot of maintenance. And even a well-arranged wall of pots here, vases and plants to bring it all together. You can see how this is considered a high-end place for the upper class. Though, ma'am, I think you've got a creepy customer just loitering around, so you should probably do something about that. Wait. Every staff member who works here has signed a contract with the owner of the tea house and has to work here forever? You know what, let's go see this owner for ourselves, or we might be looking at yet another worker rights issue. Well, the owner refuses to cooperate and talk, so it's not looking too good. This restaurant is extremely well kept though, and clean aside from the one glaring problem. This chair isn't straight. Oh, and the dog on the counter too. But you can't say they're not well organised here. This is by far the most aesthetic bar area. Not a single item looks out of place. They even consider the guest's experience when it comes to their candles by using firework byproducts and a small amount of plant leaf extract. This means that there's no smell when they burn, so it won't ruin the tea for the guests. But the question remains, is this also where they make the tea? There is a storeroom behind, so wouldn't it make more sense to place all the prep here? They serve food here too, so I have no clue where that's being made. As for the review of the rest of the tea house, I'm thoroughly impressed. Super clean, going for that minimal look.
What delicious tea.
The customers love the tea. I particularly like the additions of the privacy screens and curtains, showing that they value their customers' privacy, and a great location. The natural light helps a lot with the vibe too. So, Komore Tea House lives up to its name. The only real problem is the owner, of whom I'll also need to get checked because I'm pretty sure he's keeping his staff members trapped here for all eternity. 7 Taroumarus out of 10. Uyuu restaurant. On the outside, a very beautiful traditional Inazuman tavern. Looks very well taken care of, and a sign on top illustrating just what kind of restaurant this is. Tons of good reviews on the board outside as well, though this food critic says otherwise. She believes the food here is quite underwhelming. So let's go check out the place for ourselves, shall we?
Welcome to Uyuu restaurant.
Ah, that's nice. Straight away you're greeted by the staff. As soon as you walk into this tavern, you're met with a very warm and intimate vibe for relaxed social gatherings. All the lanterns really bring everything together for that warm lighting. They seem to like their art here too. The details are very nice, which really adds to the ambience, and in theme with the sort of food they serve here as well. Oh wait!
1, 2, buckle my shoes.
I've been in here a fair amount of times and I've never noticed those shoes. Hello good sir. I've heard many good things about your establishment. Would you care to tell me a bit about this please? Drinking on the job? Okay. Yeah, I think now would be the time to say that I am a tavern inspector, so you really shouldn't be doing that. I will be inspecting the rest of your tavern. No staffing issues. They've got 2 people in the back of the house cooking, a dedicated kitchen separate from everything else. This lady here is a waiter, and the owner serving at the counter. Speaking of the back of house though, again, there is something about Inazuma where they are just incredibly organized. Just look at this shelf right here. Oof, those those plates and bowls. As for the food they serve, there's a wide array of choices. They've also got different seating choices. You can either sit here at the bar and watch them cook or sit at a low table and be waited on. I'm somewhat confused what is going on here though. It's not to say the food doesn't look and taste great, it's just that why is there a whole lot of food on empty tables? This just seems like a pure waste to me, and that someone clearly is not doing their job right. We do have 2 guests upstairs, so it's safe to assume that this table is taken, but what about the rest down here? This establishment meets my cleanliness criteria as well, and it's a plus that they cook and prep separately. Just maybe don't leave your food out for hours or drink on the job. 7 dongo out of 10. Okay, for the next one on our list, we're heading over now to Taroumaru. And I mean, even from the outside, this is just wow. Well kept building, beautiful Siam. Just looking at it, I can feel my mouth watering. And this, not even necessary, but Lambad has gone out of his way to put tents over the seating area to keep customers dry and keep them safe with these safety rails. And it even looks like they have complimentary fruit on all the tables too. Possibly my only gripe with this outside area are these boxes and tables. They should really be kept out the back over here away from customers, not right at the front of the tavern. I personally really like the touch here, having the menu outside so customers don't feel pressured to have to go in and can decide whether they like the food beforehand. They even have a takeaway option on this side and have example plates so you can see what the food looks like beforehand. The hospitality straight away is also an instant plus. Very opulent, I would say, is the word that comes to mind when entering this tavern. The architecture is next level, and the carpet flooring really brings out a cozy atmosphere. The mismatching of colours and patterns really makes it pop too. Would you look at those table lamps? Everything here just screams luxury. It seems like there's 2 different sections. Downstairs is where the food is served and upstairs the bar area that has no bartender, okay. And I really don't think one waiter is enough to deal with the amount of customers this place gets. Also, how does this guy even serve the food? It looks like he's trapped behind the counter. How does he get out? I sat down over an hour ago and he's still not moved from that spot to take my order. My guy, I know you can move. I've seen it. Excuse me, sir? Oh, well, the owner is very friendly. It's just well, yes, I know you have takeaway options, but I'm looking to sit down and eat. Oh, you have your own specialty food, that's nice. And complimentary samples too, we love to see that. New tableware. Oh, it's good to know you're fast to replace any old items as well. Looks like the food prep is done here, so this is basically the kitchen, but again, how exactly do you get in? There's no opening, how does this even work? The storage is looking pretty good, but see here, all these unclean plates on the countertop that haven't been cleared yet. Everything just seems a bit all over the place. But overall, aside from the obvious staffing issues and a bit of mess, Lambad's tavern meets regulation. 8 lambads out of 10. So this tavern has an already obvious issue before we even head in. There isn't a clear path to it. You've got to trek through mountains and oceans just to get here, which is quite dangerous to say the least. Though most people likely just arrive by boat. Let's first play a game of how many trip hazards are there? 1 here, here. Oh, yeah, that's just an open hole to fall through, okay.
Pay first, then take your drink.
It's not a good first impression from the owner either, so you really shouldn't be just admitting that your tavern is dingy. This place is just so unsanitary and there are hazards everywhere. Sir? Are you trying to trade illegal goods with me? Good wine? I'm good, thanks. What do you sell? Meat, cheese, and milk. I don't even want to know where that's being stored and prepped. I'm good. Look at this mess all over the floor too. You also have almost no tables. Are people just expected to sit on the floor like this guy? I really don't want to go inside there, but I must fulfill my duty as an inspector. I'm seeing a pattern with rude staff at this establishment. You're scared of trouble and working in this tavern is great. You literally sound like you're saying that with a gun pointed to your head. Now, I can't be too sure, you guys, but this seems to be a place where a lot of undesirables gather. So is this even an official tavern? I think I best report this to the Guardianage. 1 blubber beast out of 10. I really feel like I'm in the upper echelon of society with this one, but that does not make it immune to the tavern inspector. So let's check this one out next. And of course, it has a grand entrance, fit with water features and fancy lighting. There's no denying that this restaurant is extravagant, but honestly, it lacks that personal touch. The colours especially make it feel very cold. It often seems to be the case with these rich and fancy places. However, you cannot deny the presentation. That ceiling for one thing, oh my. The dining areas being cordoned off gives the customers more privacy, which I imagine is what people come here for too. We've got blue rugs, very comfortable looking blue chairs, and the tables even have tablecloths. It's a very cold colour scheme, and the presentation of the food, next level. The plate covers are also a good touch so nothing gets on the food. I only found 1 piece of food left out on an empty table as well, which I am assuming will get cleaned up fairly quickly. The staff are really hardworking. So this is Fontaine, so making use of their technology only makes sense. Not to mention that they hold live nights for Linny and Lynette performances while you eat. But the staffing situation overall seemed good here, and they're very professional and friendly, as expected. I would imagine the training is quite intense. The bill stands and clipboards also further emphasize this organization, almost like a well-oiled machine. And the back of the house too, that is what we like to see with our plates. Hello there. You must be the boss. Even better, an owner that's open to criticism. That's a good attitude to have, sir. Is this actually a hotel though? Because I'm not seeing any rooms. That looks to me like false advertising. Minus a point for that. Hotel debord is clean and minimal, well organized. I can literally see my reflection on this floor. That's how clean it looks. Well staffed, nicely laid out, just as you would expect. But the impersonal vibe leaves it missing those few final marks. 8 macarons out of 10. Natlan's iconic inn is up next. Situated right next to the entrance of the arena, a picture-perfect location for a food establishment. And first we've got the outside. Condiments probably shouldn't be left out like this. This is such a precarious spot to put them when you could easily have them on tables or shelves instead. Now if this is your backroom storage, I can't say I'm particularly impressed with this situation. Having animals in the area is fine, but the food storage should be kept separated and far away from them so there's no cross-contamination. Very disappointing. That just sounds like an excuse to slack. Treating your workplace as a hangout spot. At least storage over in the kitchen seems better. Ah, yes. Meat kept on the bottom shelves. Oh, or not. That's a health code violation. I reckon you could also make much better use of the space you have around here, but to each their own. The seating area down here is very cozy though, and there's even a shelf of condiments. The rug in particular really brings this part together, and Natlan's lighting in general helps with the vibe. They're also very well staffed, one serving food and another looking after customers. Though, now that I've double checked and gone over my paperwork, this girl works both night and day shifts, so this could be another violation. Now it's time to check out the inside of the inn. Now see, the inside does a much better job at keeping the food station far away from animals. And this is still more than can be said for another place we've been to. Nicely organized and different foods kept separate from one another. Again though guys, come on. We need to keep the meats at the bottom. Natlan does win on the food presentation front though, I will admit. Safety rails here too, that's good to see. So as much as I love the vibe of the inn, other aspects do let it down a bit. It's got to be a 7 to petless out of 10. Please sort out your food safety for my next visit, man. In the weeks following the initial inspections, Diluc has hired more staff members and cleared the tavern up. Prince remains sat on the counter to this day. Chef Mao and Zhangling continue to
Try something new at the wanmin restaurant.
We are currently awaiting the results of the most recent court proceedings regarding Taroumaru. Mr. Rikuto still drinks on the job. Legend says Lambad is still stuck to the counter to this day. The rusty rudder is under investigation by Chevrus. These robots are still creepy. And Natlan's Inn has cleaned itself up and is now more prosperous than ever. This has been teyvats Taverns.